Welcome back to The Source. Western Canadian artist Catherine Blackburn's colorful work is on display until March 26th at the Grimsby Public Art Gallery. It's an exhibit called New Age Warriors. Catherine, your work pays tribute to some of the strong women in your life, both past and present. Who were some of these women?
A lot of the women in my exhibition are family, friends, kin to me, all very inspirational Indigenous women who I have a relationship with in some regard. And so, yeah, and I mean, at the root of this project also is my late Setsune, my grandmother, who really inspired this body of work, and that extended beyond that to include many more women in my life, and all very representative of different experiences and perspectives that really pulled this exhibition together.
When you talk about your work itself and being inspired by your grandmother and others, did you learn any of your craft, any of your technique from some of the people of your past?
As a child, I'd watched my grandmother work at her beading table, and her way of preparing and harvesting her materials was incredibly inspirational for me. And I guess I didn't realize as a child, right, that I would later utilize these memories and images of her working. And that's how it's crept into my practice is through that memory of my grandmother. So yeah, she was an incredible garment maker and hide tanner, I guess you would say. So she prepared all of the animal hides to be used in her garments that she created. I learned a few different construction techniques from my grandmother, but as well I learned the actual technique of two-thread applique, which is the technique that I often employ in my practice.
There's also a little bit of an ecological focus of your work, and you use plastic beading, and weave that together with some other materials. But part of your work focuses on the whole plasticity nature of things.
I wanted to create a large body of work, and when I was formulating that, it became very clear that I couldn't create all of this work using the traditional trade beads, tiny glass beads. Of course, it would take me years to complete. I explored different mediums, and I came to essentially trading in those glass beads with plastic beads and other plastic materials. And what it speaks to is this brilliant innovation of Indigenous cultures to continually live in sync with the land, utilize the land, but also be in relationship with the land. So I am talking about the mass consumption of our Western cultures, plastic kind of being the machine that drives that, but taking that idea and twisting it just a bit through the perspective of Indigenous innovation and utilitarian use of the land in all these brilliant and complex ways.
How does an artist originally from Saskatchewan, now living in British Columbia, connect with the gallery in Grimsby?
In terms of the work itself, it spans many different nations, and that includes all throughout Canada and this country. And it really is speaking to the diversity of all nations. And so it is far reaching in that aspect. And I think that's why so many people are really inspired and driven to go see this work. It is moved beyond just me, myself as a Dene person, to expand and include various nations across the country, and not just Indigenous experience. Many people are seeing themselves in this work, feeling represented. I never expected this to travel and tour the way it has, and it's really been incredible. And I really give props to everybody included in this work, because it wasn't made solely just by myself. It includes a large community and collaboration between many different hands.